Hello again. This is Mr. J here at the Teen Center, the Boys and Girls Club of Door County. I have another story to tell of my childhood. This one is called The Pink Lady. At this point, I am in 4th grade. We live in Hensonville Homes. Hensonville Homes is a compound off base, which is completely walled off with 2 gates. Both the gates are there at the front, and the whole compound looks like a big rectangle. So the gates are on the long side. There's a front gate here, and the back gate here. When you enter the gates, there are 2 roads that shoot the short way down through the compound, and connecting the 2 roads are longer roads. 3 of them exactly. One in the front, one in the middle, and one at the back. Now I remember that all the roads were named after fruits. The road that I lived on, which happened to be the middle one, was called Grape Street. In the compound, not all the houses were built. Although all of the houses on the first street, closest to the gates, both sides of the street were completely built. The side streets that ran perpendicular to the middle streets, all the houses were built on the outside. And on Grape Street, on my side of the street, closest to the gates, all the houses were built. There was one that was under construction, but was finished probably the 3rd year we were there. Across the street was a gigantic field. I do remember in that gigantic field there looked like an old building that had been burnt down in the past. I remember just rubble. I do remember that. But there were no houses that built there. There was one that was being built up towards the front where the gate was at. After that was the last street. Now on that last street there were 3 houses. Back right corner had 1 house. About a quarter of the way up from that corner was a gigantic mansion. Well, it looked like a mansion to me. It was a big house. And then the 3rd house, which ran about 3/4 of the way up from where the big mansion was. And this house seemed out of place. It was a small pink house. Not a bright pink. I mean, through the years, the weather has done its job to it. So it was more of like a pastel pink. But it seemed abandoned. There were no doors on it. The window that I could see didn't have shutters or anything. There was no glass. Vegetation had grown up around it. Trees. Okay, I paid no mind to it. After living there for a while, we became familiar with the guards. One of the guards became a friend of the family. His name was Mukring. And I decided to ask him one day what the deal was with the pink house. He told me this story. And mind you, the information he got was from previous guards. He told me that a lady used to live in the pink house. And the lady passed under mysterious circumstances. What was odd was that the house was not broken into, and there seemed to be no signs of foul play. And the position of the body that was found made it creepy. The lady had been laying on the ground with one arm out, trying to get to the door. After the incident, no one would rent the house, no one would buy the house. Finally, it was just abandoned and forgotten about it. Throughout the years, several of the old guards that used to work there years ago had told the new guards about the house, and that every now and then on their rounds they would be going around and they would see what seemed like an apparition walking around the house. Now Mooker himself had not seen this, so he was skeptical. After hearing this, I decided to tell my friends. We figured it'd be kind of cool to go there one night and see if we could see the ghost. So I told DJ and Clayton, and we decided that weekend on Saturday we would go to the house, sit out on the curb, and see what we could. So Saturday rolls around. We group together, head over to the pink house. We sit on the curb and be as quiet as we can, considering the situation. Every now and then we try to scare each other. But after a while, we become complacent and we get bored. And DJ decides to ask if one of us would like to enter the house for a piece of gum. Now Clayton just sits there and I think, I might as well do it. I could use a piece of gum, and we haven't seen anything. So I hop up and say, I'll go. I go and find a stick long enough to where I can use it as a sword and wield it. Go to the edge of the street where the beginning of the brush starts. And I begin to hack away at the grass, trying to create a path. Now you might think, why don't you just walk through it? Well, the grass at this point has grown up to my chest, and it's like a sawgrass almost. It's really thick. But it's not the grass I'm worried about, it's what usually is lying in wait inside of it. There are these spiders that I had a bad run-in with when I first moved into Hensonville Homes. And they're called, what we call them is banana spiders. And they can grow about as big as my hand. They're gigantic. And even though they are poisonous, they're not poisonous enough to kill a human. But their bites do hurt. Now, I was hacking away at the grass so that if there were spiders, and mind you, there are other spiders in the grass too, so, but I was more worried about the banana spiders. I was hacking away, making my trail. Get to a point where the grass is rather low, it's around about down to my knees, and I look back, and I see DJ and Clayton watching me, so I begin to whack away at the smaller grass, and then I was like, okay, I don't need the stick anymore. And as soon as I think about putting the stick down, DJ screams, and I jump, and I run. I run back. Now, I drop the stick, run back. I see they're laughing. Punch DJ in the shoulder. I was like, if you guys do that again, I'm not going in the house. And they're like, sorry, just go. Okay, we're sorry. We won't do it again. Just go, go, go. I'm like, all right. Trudge my way through my trail that I've made. Pick up my stick again. And I make it to the door. Lay my stick up against the wall. I look back at DJ and Clayton. And they're like, go, go. I'm like, all right. So I nod my head and turn around. And I peek inside the house. Now, what I see to my right is a kitchen area. Behind the kitchen area is a wall. And as I look, I notice that the back door is in line with the front door. So I can see out the back door, I can see the grass, and I can see the back wall to the compound. I also notice that behind the kitchen and cutting the house kind of in half, there seems to be a room because I can see a door. And the door faces the left wall. And on this side seems to be like a living area. It's a small house, but but it looks like it could be a dining room and a living room. And there is a window on this side of the house, and I can see the long grass outside. After observing the inside of the house, noticing that it smelled pretty dank, like a basement, like musty. I could see grass growing in from cracks on the floor. Some of the plaster had fallen off. The inside of the house was that same pastel pink as the outside. I walk in, look around, want to see what's inside that room. So I walk to the room, peek in the door to the room. And it is just basically a small room. The room has a window, however, and it seems like the tree outside has grown into the window, so there were some branches and leaves inside the window. And this room is in the same disrepair as the rest of the house. I turn around, see DJ and Clayton, and at this point I am facing DJ and Clayton, the front door. Back door is behind me, and the door to the room is on my left. And I think I'm going to play a joke on them. I'm going to try to scare DJ and Clayton, get them back for scaring me. So I put on my best acting face and act like I hear something. And I look to the right, and I look to the left, and then I look back at DJ and Clayton, and I act like something pulls me into the room. And I jump to my left and enter the room. At this point, I'm expecting to hear screams from DJ and Clayton. And I wait for a few seconds. But it's eerily quiet. More quiet than usual. I can no longer hear the slight breeze through the leaves of the tree or the long blades of grass. I'm like, okay, well, what's going on? So I peek out of the doorway towards the front of the house to see if DJ and Clayton are still there. And they're gone. At this point, however, I do hear the rustling of grass on the left side of the house. And I'm thinking DJ and Clayton are trying to scare me now. So I sneak to the front door, and then I pop out. Nothing there. At that point, I hear the rustling of the grass outside of the window where the bedroom is. So I'm like, okay, they made it to the bedroom. I sneak to the door of the bedroom in the house, and I peek in. I don't see them, but I still hear the rustling. So I hurry up and run to the window, and I rah! Nothing there. At that point, I now hear that noise at the back door of the house. And I think to myself, there is no way DJ and Clayton could have made it past this window into the back door in the amount of time it took me to get to that window. And not only that, there is no trail. There is no evidence of them passing through the tall grass. That's when I get scared. I turn around and I quietly walk to the bedroom door. I get to the bedroom door and I slowly peek out to see what's out back through the back door. And as soon as I peek my head out, the rustling stops. I pull my head back in. Whatever was out there saw me. Or at least that's what I'm thinking. I make one last little peek to the front of the house to see if I can see DJ and Clayton. I see nothing. Now I'm starting to panic. I look around. I look at the ground, see if there's any rocks that I might be able to protect myself with. Wishing I still had my stick with me. I don't know what to do. Then I think I'm going to make a break for it. I'm just going to run. I'm going to get out of this house. I'm terrified. So I look at the ground again, see if I can see anything that I might trip on. Nothing. It looks pretty clear. So I bolt. I go for it. I exit the bedroom. As soon as I break the barrier of the front door, I hear what sounds like crashing brush behind me. And that just spurs me on to run even faster. So I'm going through the trail I made. I look down as I'm running, I'm looking down the road, just like DJ Clayton. They're completely gone. So I'm like, I'm heading home. I'm getting out of here. I start cutting across the field in front of my house, and I'm running, and it feels like whatever was behind me is right there, just about to grab me. And my legs feel like they're heavy because I'm just so tired of running. And the hot air, the breeze flying past me, and it just spurs me on to go even more. And I hit my Grape Street, run across the street, get up my carport, get to the front door, rip it open, slam it shut. I'm safe. Panting, tired, still a little startled and scared. But I'm kind of also upset with DJ and Clayton because they left me. So after I settle myself down, I go to bed. And I make note to myself I need to go talk to DJ and Clayton tomorrow when I wake up. So I wake up, do what you do in the morning, eat your breakfast, and change your clothes, and I start walking up Grape Street. Get halfway up Grape Street, and I see DJ and Clayton. They see me, I can see them look at each other, and I wave at them and I start yelling at them because I'm upset that they left me and they probably can't hear it or understand the words I'm saying. They're too far away. And they start running towards me, so I'm like, okay. So I start running towards them. And as we get closer, I start yelling at them because I'm angry. When they get in front of me, I stop. Because I noticed the expression on their face. They both seem very surprised and a little bit startled. So I asked them, what happened? Why did you guys leave me? What happened last night? And this is when they tell me what they saw from their perspective. So I enter the house. I turn around, and this is the point where I decide to play my trick on them. I do my acting bit, and then they see me hop into the room. As soon as I leave their visual field, they see something entering into their field of view from the kitchen. It seemed like a pink glow or mist. And it was headed towards the bedroom. They begin to yell out to me to run, to get out of there. The pink lady's there. The pink lady's there. Run. And then they bolted out of there. They got out of there. So keep in mind, while I was in that room at that point, it got super quiet. I didn't hear them yelling. And I most definitely would have heard them if I were outside of the house. They were yelling really loud. I don't understand how I could not have heard them. Enough to say, we never went back to that house again. I never rode my bike down that back road alone. Come to think of it, never got my stick of gum either. And that's my story of the Pink Lady.